Hi, everyone. Welcome to Here for the Health of It podcast. We have a great show for you today. We have the co-owners of Village Idiot Pizza, Brian and Kelly Glynn. They've owned it since 2001, and they get into everything about pizza. We talk about some of the big records in pizza that Brian has. We talk about relationship advice, and we get into what high gluten flour is and why you need to know about it. So I hope you enjoy this show. Thanks for listening. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Here for the Health of It podcast. I'm Dr. Randy here with Dr. Tom, as always, and we are Columbia's hottest and fastest growing podcast. Thanks for tuning in. We have some great guests today. We have two guests, the co-owners of Village Idiot Pizza, Brian and Kelly. How do I say your last name?
Glynn.
Glynn.
Like Lynn with a G.
Like Lynn with a G. Oh, that's good.
And if it wasn't for that astronaut, everyone would get it right.
Ruined everything for you guys.
Yeah.
It's really easy to filter out junk mail, though.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So, and you guys have owned Village Idiot Pizza for a long time, 21 years.
21 years,
Wow.
2003.
And you guys told me kind of before air, there's a real spicy love story leading up to that.
Brian does like to tell it.
Do you want to tell? Let's start with that story.
So, yeah, I got hired, moved down from New York and got hired as a pizza maker for the original owners, I think in 94, something like that. And there was a cute waitress named Kelly. And she would yell at me every day.
Right?
Yeah. But she would yell
Glad
at
he
me.
said my name there.
Yell at me, ask him where her pizza was and what's taking so long. And, you know, so still 30 years later, still yelling at me every day, want to know why the pizza's taking so long.
Very, very unfair.
Yeah. But it was
Traditional dynamic of a restaurant, front of
Yeah.
house versus back of house. I'm trying to make the money. They're taking too long with the food.
Yes.
Mhm.
You got to
So-
turn over tables.
We're turn and burn.
Yep.
we're burning our arms, covered in flour. And
Right. Sweating back
Mhm.
there.
Making $3.85 an hour. You know,
Really? Is that what it was?
I think that's what it was when I
Yeah,
started there.
That sounds. And so, did you know that you liked him right away?
No, I did not. He was,
I'm still trying to wear her down.
the original owners were from New Jersey. So I had grown accustomed to the attitude of a Yankee, if you will. And he had a
Which
big,
is hard to get used to when you're in the
He had a
South.
big one. But no, it didn't take long.
So tell me about when you decided, all right, I'm kind of into this guy.
Well, I didn't know that she was into me
This is kind of
because
embarrassing.
Yeah.
she yelled at me all the time.
Right.
Was she swearing?
Uh,
Or
We-
extra mean? Were you extra mean to him than the other people?
No.
every
because
waitress
I
was
am-
mean to every cook.
And at work, it's all about work.
Mhm.
So there was no
No time for that.
time for that. And yes, we terrorized them equally.
So-
but
Fast forward a couple months, and
after work, totally different story. You know,
Okay.
we're out, we're going to have fun. I might try to steal a smooch.
Ooh.
yeah, she did.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, what?
You didn't even know it was coming.
No.
Where was
no,
it? Do
she
you
was
remember
like-
it?
Yes.
This is also embarrassing. It was in the alley
Behind the,
behind the restaurant because we would take the
like
back.
he's taking out the trash.
We would take the back door out
You've
to
been
wherever
yelling at
we
me
were
for
going.
months.
Just like dodging rats.
And you thought this is the moment. This is magical.
He wasn't going to make the move.
That's right.
Right. So not only did I think that she didn't like me because she yelled at me every day, like I didn't have a lot of game either.
Yeah.
So she plants one on me. I was like, whoa. She's like, come on, you know I like you. I was like, what would have given me that impression?
Women are funny like that.
How would I have?
He's still very confused to
I
this
thought
day.
she wanted to stab me in the eye.
Stays
I'm
confused.
not sure if she's going to stab me or make out with me.
Yeah.
That does sound like most guys with women.
It keeps your blood pumping.
That's great. So are you guys both Italian?
No.
Zero Italian.
Not
Zero
a not a
Italian.
No
drop.
way. All right. So you meet at the pizzeria.
hmm
When did you know you wanted to own the pizzeria? Like, how does that
Still not
evolve?
sure if
Just
we
kind of
wanna-
falls in falls in the lap.
Hospital food and beverage was in my blood. Brian had been making pizza since he was 15.
Yep.
I had always waited tables front of house. I was at the University of South Carolina. I majored in interdisciplinary studies, which is you've been here too long.
Yeah, what is that?
Figure out what you want to focus on, and let's get you a diploma. So
I want to hear what that is.
yeah, I dabbled in a lot of different majors through college. So hospitality was one of them. Interdisciplinary studies was choose 2 focuses. Let's get you enough credits in those and get you out of here. So it was accounting and management is what I landed on. So I figured I'd graduate and move on. And I did. I went into hotel sales, not accounting and management. And then in 2003, the opportunity came back to purchase it from the owner at the time. It was the second owner.
So you were selling hotels.
I was selling rooms. In
Rooms at a
hotels.
hotel.
Yes.
Okay.
Straight out of school to sell.
That's what was so
It's called
shocking.
hotel sales.
I thought maybe
yeah.
an interdisciplinary degree was better than I had pictured it.
Yeah, no, room sales.
You're a doctor.
In a hotel.
I got kicked out of junior college, so I mean,
I'm big on colleges right now are just giving out degrees that they should not be giving out, and they're charging way too much for it.
Mine probably was I don't think there is an interdisciplinary studies degree anymore.
Right.
But again, it was, let's get you got enough credits to have graduated like 3 times. So
Right.
let's get you out of here.
Yeah.
Just wouldn't
Here's a
leave.
diploma. Here's a diploma.
I know a lot about a lot of different things.
Good.
So
All right. Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsor, Columbia Family Chiropractic, with 3 easy to get to locations, one in Forest Acres, which is by Trader Joe's, one in O'Neill Court by the DMV, and one in the Northeast by Sand Hills. You'll be sure to have somewhere near you. They offer a ton of services from corrective care, on-site digital x-rays, spinal decompression for bulging or herniated discs, dry needling for injuries, pediatric care, and a class 4 laser. They accept all your major insurances. And if you mention this ad, you'll get a discount on your first appointment. Check out their website at cfc4health.com or Google Columbia Family Chiropractic. That's cfc4health.com.
I don't know about pizza.
That's it. So from 15, what was your job before the 15-year-old pizzeria?
Paperboy.
Nice.
Albany Times Union Paper Carrier of the Year 2 years in a row.
No big deal.
What? Did you
Guess
get a
what?
plaque?
Got the plaques on his wall.
I wake up and win. No, but I don't have any Italian, but I learned making pizza. My boss is a guy named Zelindo Viscusi. So I have like Italian through osmosis.
Gotcha.
During busy times, like his mom would come and work in the shop too. And she was like, typical Italian, like barely speak English and 4'10" and had no problem whacking any one of us in the head if we weren't doing. Yep. So none in the blood, but I had several years of good connection
Being around
to
it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Times have changed since then because you can't walk around with a spoon hitting your staff now.
No, the
That's
labor
looked down
department
on.
will tell you that.
Yeah.
Not that I. No.
no.
Now, so let's talk ingredients. Have you changed much since you took over the store? And what is the process? Like, where are you sourcing things from?
That's a me question. Huh?
He's looking directly at you.
Yeah.
Actually.
Well, I didn't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it is Kelly question.
So it's very, very close to the original owner's recipe for our pizza. We've changed the menu around quite a bit and back and forth, added things, taken things off, and try to get it into a wheelhouse. As far as the pizza goes, we make all of our dough in house. It's a very basic recipe. We don't use any.
That you're not sharing.
Yeah, that's right.
I was gonna
He was
gonna
getting
ask
ready
you
to
that.
like
Well, I was
rattle
gonna
it
ask.
off.
Yep, and then I can give you the whole story. Although I do joke, I'm like, I'm not worried about someone stealing the recipe. It's like people have it in front of their face and they still have trouble doing
Right,
it.
people that work for you.
Yeah. We use a high gluten flour, which is typical for any New York style. Just that's what it calls for. And then
We do not subscribe to the war on gluten.
I was gonna say Randy's a big. He's sensitive bowels.
No,
So
I've never heard of someone say a high gluten recipe. I've heard of low gluten and just
no.
nothing, no mention of
Do you
it. But
guys
I've never
offer
heard
gluten?
high gluten.
any New, if
writing
you've
that
ever
down.
had a New York style pizza, high gluten
a
flour.
lot of gluten.
Yep. Unless you had crappy New York style pizza and then you didn't have high gluten
Right.
flour. So it's a basic dough recipe that it's simple but needs to be precise. There's a window, we need time for it to rise, and then once it hits that, we got about 36 hours, and if it's still around, it's no good anymore.
Throwing it out.
Yeah.
That's so on the ordering side, because I'm always interested in that. How do you know? What's your flow on ordering? Amounts and that kind of thing. Are you throwing out a lot of stuff?
No, we've got it pretty down to consistency on sales
Yep.
and volume. So
Yeah, produce is the only thing really, and that's you can't tell because you don't know what you're getting in also. And when they change the growing season from like North America to Central America, then you start getting different
Right.
things. So that's really the only thing. But it is, and with the technology now, with all the apps and computers, they try to do it for you too. But you get pretty used to what you go through.
And with produce, we do order from a local provider. That doesn't mean we're going to get sourced all local, just for
Right.
sheer volume of each ingredient. But they do try to source local. when
What's
they
an
can.
order typically look like for you guys? Are you doing that every Monday? Are you doing it like how often and like amounts?
So we do our food purchases twice a week per location, and amounts like
Is it-
per ingredient,
Well,
or
maybe like just so people get like I always want to wrap my mind around the business side of the pizza world and like what's the cost, like what's the risk, I guess. Like when you order all that, you're making a risk. Like a restaurant's taking a risk on we got to sell this at a certain time
Sure.
period.
So, once a week at each restaurant, we're getting anywhere from 25 to 35 bags of flour.
Mhm.
It's the cheese that's our biggest.
the big one?
That's the big
Yeah.
one. How many cases of cheese per location?
I mean, we do about 3,000 pounds of cheese a week.
Wow. And are you grating that yourself?
No, so we did up till a couple of years ago. You could tell the difference between like a loaf and a pre-shredded. They've come a long way with the different coagulants and whatnot to
Keep it-
anti-caking agents.
Yep.
It used to be if you got something pre-diced or shredded, you could tell, and it wasn't the same product. They've found ways to package it pretty good for us. It's easier to get it like pre-diced for portioning purposes as we open more locations, and really in the restaurant business, consistency is everything.
Right.
And once we started expanding, for a long time, Kelly and I was in the kitchen, she was on the floor every day with one location. So it's at that point,
Got
you
everything.
make almost every pizza. It's got to
Right.
be right. Once you start having other people, you need ways to get that consistency. And
Yeah.
then when you're talking about making hundreds of pizzas a night, stopping to weigh every one of them, that's really slowing things down.
Sure.
So, now with the dice, you can just like a scoop with what we use on the different sizes, you can scoop it and just get it on there and go
Gotcha.
go fast.
So we use measured scoops for most of our toppings.
That makes
so
sense.
each pizza is the same.
Yeah, and when the employees don't do it, you can't hit them with a wooden spoon.
Right.
Well, so I think back to when I go to like Chipotle,
Mhm.
which is what I call it. Is that how you say it? Chipotle?
Chipotle.
Chipotle.
The burrito place.
Chipotle. Yeah. But they have like the pre-portioned spoons, but you always kind of know one guy's giving you double the meat, one guy's giving you like a 3/4 scoop.
Yeah.
Drives you kind of crazy. But when you have just a full scoop, what does that look like? Do you have a training process where you're like, that's not a full scoop, that's only 80%, and that's a heaping scoop. You just need to do one scoop. Like,
Unfortunately, it's never on the
That's not
the
a full
lighter scoop.
is that how it works?
But they're supposed to scoop and push.
Push,
So they're just getting a level scoop of cheese. It goes in the middle, and then they're supposed to push it out so that it's covering the entire
Yep.
sauce portion of the
Is
pizza.
that how long does that training take? Just for mine, because I
We have
as
some that
someone
work
who's
for us
had
that
a
have been
lot of
training for
staff, I
months.
feel like that would be a big thing. Like I would need to see them do it 20 times before I trusted that they were doing the steps properly.
It making pizza the way that we make it is a hard thing to learn.
Yeah.
And actually the last thing that they learn in our training program
Yeah, it's just so
for
we
back
try
of
to-
house.
try to
Really?
get them so that they can do everything else and then
On the
get
meat.
to
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Got it.
Because if you can't make pizza, okay, that's fine. We're gonna work with you. We're gonna get you there. Some take longer than others, but it's, we hand toss it. Like I said, we don't use things in our day. It's difficult. It feels different in the winter than it does in the summer, and there's adjustments. So it's a hard thing. It's a craft. But everything else, you get them trained on that first, so that now you
They
can
can
be
expo,
useful.
they can do fry station, they can do salads, and
Got
then
it.
yeah. So
What
they
are-
can be a part of the team
Yeah.
if they're still trying to master
But
the
not-
pizza.
So probably we've had people as far as making pizza. If you have any for our menu, if you've had any kitchen experience, we can train you on everything in the kitchen other than pizza in a couple shifts.
Yeah.
And we kind of have gotten our menu to the point during COVID. We got it to the point for that reason. We took a bunch of stuff off that was multi-steps and hard to train on, hard to learn, so that if someone came in and wanted a job, we could make them
Right,
useful
yeah.
pretty quick.
Right.
Because
But-
there weren't many coming in wanting a
Yeah.
job.
That was a
Right.
tough
Yeah,
time.
it was strange. But if some people can pick up stretching out the pizza in a day or two, and then there's been some we're 3 months in and you're like, I don't know,
They
if
just
it's
don't
gonna
have the
work.
feel, right?
And then it just kind of clicks, and that's what it is. It's just your hand in the dough. You just got to feel it. That's
Work in the
repetition.
dough.
Spinning. So are you watching them and they're spinning it and you're like, it's not fast enough or it's too
No,
slow or you got to throw it higher?
I tell them that fast and right is much better, or slow and right is much better than fast and wrong.
Right.
And
But
you want
slow,
fast and
but
right.
slow and right. Yeah.
Slow and
Or,
right.
Sorry, slow and right is
Slow-
not as good as fast and right.
Correct. But slow and right is much better than fast and wrong.
Right. Right.
And the pizza
yeah.
doesn't have to be tossed in the air.
Oh, it doesn't.
If you go in and Brian's on the line and you're watching him, and he's tossing everyone high, he's catching it, he's not putting a hole in it. Most are not. They're not going to get there for a while.
He's just
And
showing
you can
off.
still stretch a dough without tossing it in the air.
Yeah, there's no right way to do it. But I've been doing it for 35 years, so
Yeah.
I kind of, the people are like, how do you do that?
He can put on a show.
Would you agree with that? You don't have to throw it in the air?
You do not. There's no right way to get a ball of dough to the size it needs to be. Really, all you need to do is have it be even, so you don't have thin spots and thick
Right.
spots. So when you throw it, the spinning, centripetal or trifical, whichever.
yeah.
You guys are doctors, not me.
Yeah.
That's how it stretches
It's
Expands.
pushing
perfectly
it. Yeah.
evenly.
Are there machines that do that now?
There are.
And that it's just expensive, I would imagine, to get a.
They're expensive. I've looked at them. So I never thought that I would seriously consider
Right. You don't
doing
want
something like that. I mean,
Right.
we do, and it's hand toss pizza. Whether you toss it or whether you're pulling
You're
it,
working
there's
it, yeah.
there's
Still
different ways.
working it with your hands.
Yeah.
So yes, there's actually they have robots now that will make an entire pizza.
Perfectly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But that's not what we are.
No, I'm with you.
But as we've gone down the franchise road and done
Start
a lot
looking.
of research and legwork on that, you have to consider
Right.
those. It's because it's consistency.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Do you think there's something to the taste of a pizza that's made with love versus a machine robot
Gotta be.
made?
Yeah. I
For
do.
sure.
Even if they're the same pizzas, one was made by a person, there's something about it.
I think you can.
That's the higher being that I believe.
Always
Well, I'm-
something
what I'm
to be
wondering.
said
I
for
know.
it being made with love.
Yeah.
Everything made with love.
I think so.
I'd agree.
Yeah. What are all the positions then in the restaurant? Like when they first start on, is there like a ladder system where it's like you're the janitor for a little bit, then you're maybe the dishwasher, or not necessarily?
No, we hire based on department. So if you're wanting to wait tables or bartend, that's what you're applying for. And, based on experience, we'll train you. So front of house, we have door positions, servers, bartenders. We don't have food runners.
Oh, really?
That's the server's job.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't have bussers.
Waitress does that, or waiters do that?
Yeah, we're a fast-paced, casual environment. So is that an oxymoron? So yeah, it's the service. The servers need those touch points with the tables, and that keeps the rapport.
Yeah, and when it's running perfectly, everything is everybody's job.
Yeah.
And
Right.
you
You
get
see it, you do it.
right.
If you have time to lean, you have time to clean.
Yeah.
That's a old McDonald's slogan
Yeah.
when I worked there
The
They don't understand those words
they
anymore.
really
No.
don't.
No.
No. If they've got time to lean, they have time to
Phone.
to
Screen.
scroll.
Screen.
Yeah.
Check the TikTok.
Mhm.
What is the average age of your guys' employees? Like, what are you guys seeing coming in? And is it a lot of turnover? Like, we envision one of our patients owns a bunch of Chick-fil-A's, and like the average age is really low, and they're constantly training and hiring.
We are constantly training and hiring. 2019, they applied in freshman year in college, and we had them their
The
whole 4
time.
years.
Yeah.
We do have some career staff as well that kind of brings the average age up. I'd say about 20 is
That's
our
nice,
average
though,
age.
yeah.
We have a lot of 18-year-old staff members though. Post 2020,
Right.
it's a constant
This
it's a
turn.
constant revolving door of training.
Do you like a 16-year-old? Like, I wonder when my kid is 16, like, where should he look for his first job?
So the best place for us if we were going to place a 16-year-old is in the dish pit. They can do everything in the dish pit
Yep.
and on the counter. So they can answer the phone and deal with walk-up customers and take out. So we have hired our fair share of 16-year-olds.
If your first job is in a dish pit, you have a barometer or you have a measuring stick for the rest of your life.
Right.
That,
Yeah,
you know,
'cause
there,
that's-
there are, I mean,
It's a tough
hard.
job.
It's hot, it's wet.
Yeah.
People,
But you do
dirty.
have to be 17 to do most every other position in the business.
Oh, is that
They
right?
can't use a mixer until they're 17. You can't deliver pizzas until you're 17. You cannot serve alcohol until you're 18. So there are some age restrictions.
But it's changed so much since COVID because we never had turnover. Like we rarely had an application in the people come to apply. And there's several years where I just kind of laugh at them and be like, no, it's not the way it works. Like
Right.
if a position does come open, there's a lot of people in line.
Right.
Two, now you walk in a place and there's always people that I don't know who they are. And that kind of freaks me out.
Right.
It freaks me out.
How many total do you guys have at all the shops? Like, do you know the total number of employees?
Yeah, it's since we closed the Forest Drive location in December,
yeah.
we were at about 65. So now we're about 50
Nice.
at the two.
Nice. How is that managing? Like, what does that look like? Are there meetings? Are there lots of emails? What is behind the scenes?
We do have store managers at both locations. So they handle the day-to-day operations, the hiring, firing, mostly training. Brian comes in and handles a lot of the back of house pizza making portion of
Yeah.
the training. But we rely on our store managers to run
Nice.
the day-to-day operations,
Great.
which is very different for us.
Right.
And that's only been since we launched the franchise system and tried to kind of focus our attention in that direction.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. Like for me, it's real hard. If I'm in there, and I love I grew up making pizza. I love it. It's where I'm most comfortable. I have to try to not, when I don't know what to do, I'll default and just get in the kitchen.
Right.
But when I'm there, like on a training shift or something like that, it's hard for me. My focus goes away from big picture. Now it's right here. Do we have enough pepperoni stocked? Is the fryer clean enough? Did we get the oven scraped out? Is this, so
Right.
now I'm completely everything else. It's almost like I'm not a business owner. I'm the best cook in the kitchen.
Right.
So I'm going to make sure that we're ready to go. So it has been for me a hard
Transition.
kind of mind shift.
Yeah.
I don't think there will ever be a day where I'm not making pizza.
Right.
I can relate to that a lot as well because
Yeah.
I was just always used to being in there. I was in the adjusting bays. I was doing everything at all times, and then transitioning to multiple clinics and having to realize I can't be everywhere at once. I
Yeah.
have to train people and show people. And then looking back at myself when I started 14 years ago, like my first people that I was adjusting, I didn't know what I didn't know. And I have to remember that too with these brand new chiropractors, especially
Right.
if they came out during COVID. You didn't get hands on anything for 2 years, and then they just throw you out into the world and say, "All right, go ahead now and do this." And they're like, "Well, wait, I've been looking at a screen for the last 2 years, and now you're saying just go do this?"
Right. I've been pretending to do this.
Yeah,
Right.
Now I'm supposed to do it.
Right.
right.
Yeah. So when did you guys make the jump to do the franchise stuff? Because feels like a shitload of work.
Yes.
Shitload of
And-
work
Correct.
is
Com-
an accurate statement.
And like a completely different
Everything.
job,
Yeah.
business,
Yes.
career.
Because we're operators
Right.
and hands-on operators.
Right.
And through COVID, which was you've heard from many and in many industries, probably the most challenging thing we've ever had to
Right.
face. And we feel we kind of faced it pretty well.
Yeah.
We were able to make those hard pivots on the fly and really be able to safely and community based as we could possibly could.
Yeah.
Be transparent.
Even staying open.
Transparent for
heck,
people.
Be transparent, try to do as much in the
Yes.
community as we could. And coming out of it, it was like, we got to get out of this. We can't do
Right.
this anymore. And we seriously debated selling. And,
Yeah, we were
and
ready to sell.
Yeah.
we just were like, if this is the hardest thing we've been through, we've gotten through it, but it's not for the young or the faint of heart, and we are not young. We also have twin 6-year-olds. So at that time we're little, and it seemed like the right decision. But we kind of had an epiphany one day independently, based
God
on
spoke to you, the
based
pizza
on some
gods.
conversations we had been having with other people, and we kind of came together in a discussion where I kind of had it in the back of my mind, and he, I think, had it in the back of his mind, and we kind of put it out there, and we both were like, yeah.
Yes.
We didn't want to sell the brand that we had built. Although we're not the
Right.
first owners, we have built this brand and turn it over to someone else that was going to grow it, because it is. It's a great brand. So we figured we would try to take a stab at it, and
Here
so
we are.
Here we
Good.
are.
Yeah, it was. If
Good.
God spoke to us, it was a guy out in Arizona who was wanting to buy.
Oh,
he
really?
wanted to buy one location, and we talked to him
Yeah.
for like about an hour, and we were going to sell all of them or none of them. It
Right.
just didn't make sense to sell one. So he had never been in a restaurant business. He's like, if I'm just getting into this, getting 3 locations
Be a lot.
doesn't seem like the right thing to do, which told us that he is smart. So that was good. But we talked for about an hour. I had never thought that like training cooks is so hard, and just training employees is so hard.
The constant
The
training.
constant
Getting
of
them the
training.
care
employees.
and yeah.
This guy
Yeah.
was sure he'd never been in the restaurant business, but he's a sharp business mind. He made money. He has great questions. And after about an hour, he's like, listen, I don't want to waste any more of your time. What you guys know about your business and what little you know about me, would you be able to teach me how to run it? And I was like,
Yeah. Can
yeah,
you
I can
teach me to
teach
do what
how
you
to
do?
run it. A lot of the bozos I couldn't, but I could teach you how to run
Right.
it. And that kind of got me thinking. And I think Kelly, we didn't tell each other, but we were both kind of thinking the same thing. And I was like, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna sell these and then move somewhere and
And then do what?
open a pizza place? I don't know I don't know anything else to
Start
do.
over.
Didn't
and-
make much sense.
Yeah, and then it was kind of the thing. It's like, look, everything you have, the expansion as company-owned stores, again, because of our age, because of the kids and the training that goes on the day-to-day, and the fact that we are operators, and it's hard for us to, if we had 4 stores, we're going to be in 4 of them every day. So that was just overwhelming to think about. But developing a system and then finding the right people to, join the family, if you will, and be able to show them how to
Right.
do it and support them and do that, but have them deal with the day-to-day operations. That started kind of, getting our excitement going again. And that's kind of where it was. And I think both of us separately too thought, if we sell these 3, someone's going to expand it
Right.
franchise-wise.
Right.
And what we put our life
Or run
into,
it into the ground.
Right. We put our life
Either
into
or.
it for 21 years, and someone's either going to do it and we're going to be like, that should have been us doing it, or they're going to take what we gave our lives for 2 decades and run it into the ground. We're going to have to watch that.
Right.
So that's kind of how we got to it.
Yeah, and we've spent about a year and a half realizing that our system was on the fly,
Right. The 2 of you on the fly. Yeah, I was going to say.
and we've had to package it in a
Right.
way, and that has probably been the most challenging thing.
It was, and we were able to get, with consultant and a good manual writer to get, you don't realize how much is in your head.
Yes.
And you need someone who's skilled in getting that out of your head onto paper, now organize it. And then realizing okay, if we weren't here,
Right.
who would do this? What would it was
And how
a
do you
lot
teach 'em?
more.
Yeah.
You going into it, it's a lot, but
Right.
then doing it, it's
Was there a coach? Was there somebody that you guys hired that really walked you through becoming more of, I guess, the less operator, more or technician, more entrepreneur, business owner?
It's still a work in progress. And we do have a business consultant. But when we started going down this road, Brian went out to the Pizza Expo in Vegas.
Yeah.
It originally was just going to be a scouting for our locations. And then we kind of had this epiphany right before. So we shifted to let's look at some franchise specific. And we talked to your one-stop shop franchise developers
Right.
that'll build it, that'll package it, that'll sell it.
they have their own lawyers, their own salespeople.
Yeah.
And then we looked at kind of putting it together with the different elements
Pieces, yeah.
ourselves. And that was what we wanted more control over the process.
Nice.
So it's probably taken a lot longer doing it that way, but we decided to kind of have a little bit more control.
Yeah, a sensible way, and what we thought we would do at the beginning, because it seemed appealing, is these companies and they take your brand and they have everything in house. So they're legal and sales and development, the manual development, and then we kind of started thinking like, well, even if they don't realize it, they're going to make money by selling these franchises. So they're going to develop it to sell the franchises.
Right.
So what is getting bypassed? What's getting overlooked? We wouldn't even know it. Kind of like you don't know if you don't know. So we felt much more comfortable taking those separately, the legal part and the manual part, and then the consultant part. Who, speaking of Canada, he's in Canada.
Really?
Toronto, Roger in
Yeah.
Toronto.
He's actually in the
Is he in
States
the US right now?
Yeah.
Do you have in your phone as Roger in Toronto?
Just Roger. But I think I'm going to change it as soon as we get done.
I want to hear about the pizza. What is it? A pizza expo in
Pizza
Vegas?
Expo.
Vegas has an expo for everything. And it's so funny to see different industries come together and they're all kind of the same and they geek out on the same things.
Yeah.
You would not believe it. And I thought, was it your intro with the guy like with the bricks was out there doing something? Someone you guys had, or he was in Colombia. I can't remember. But you're talking about how in Vegas there's something for like there's a
The bricklayer. We did.
Yeah.
We do know a bricklayer who went to Vegas for his
yes.
national championship.
So the International Pizza Expo is in Vegas every year. There's a United States pizza team. They compete in the World Championships.
What are they doing? What as fast as you can make a pizza? Or what?
There's different categories.
Different categories.
They used to have. They don't have anymore. They have the fastest box folding.
Okay.
And you could be a world champion. Like you fly to Italy. You're on the Today Show and stuff.
I can fold a mean box too.
Yeah, but they have.
You want to talk about AI stealing your job? That is
Yeah.
probably one that would go
Seriously.
pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But they have like the fastest dough stretch, the like freestyle, which I throw it, but I throw it. That's just how I do it, and I've done it a long time. But there's people like rolling it down their back,
like doing a
and,
cartwheel and a
really
split.
cool stuff.
Like
They're
I
adding
can't
their
see you doing a
pizzazz.
splitter of
Yeah.
a flip.
I've always thought to when I watch them and they're just doing this amazing stuff, and I'm like, how do you have time?
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't you spend that time to go get more business so you don't have time to do that? Like,
right.
it just
They're
never made
literally
sense.
practicing.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Yeah.
like choreographed, the music and stuff. It's
Oh,
crazy.
God.
But yeah, it's a big deal.
Oh, that would be cool.
Oh, it's-
Choreographed like Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
How many people are watching? Are there a lot of people watching that too?
Oh, thousands.
Really?
Yeah, thousands. I'll send you guys some links. You won't believe it. It's amazing.
I was gonna say it'd be funny just to enter with like just free flow, but but if there's thousands of people, that's a serious deal.
Yeah, I clocked myself against the person who won the fastest dough stretch 2 years ago. Came home and did the same thing. I consider going. Oh, they crushed it. Crushed him. Crushed.
You crushed him.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
By like wouldn't have even been close.
Really?
Yeah. I think so. Let's talk. This is going to be weird. Kelly's going to love you for
I
this.
love
Yes,
it.
I love that
love
intro.
I've tried to figure out, like being when I started, how many pizzas I've made, like in high school and days I worked, and then working there and then owning a place, owning multiple in the stretches of years where you don't have a day off for 3 years and we're there every day, open and close. And my age, I don't think there's more than 5 people in the country that have made more pizzas than me.
Really?
Wow.
Because the guys that are older that did more are
Does our
dying.
PR company know that?
You're
They're
putting that out
dying.
on the Columbia's hottest podcast right now.
Seriously.
This is
great.
just in my head. I have no data to back this
I
up.
believe
just
it.
thinking it through. The older guys are dead, and the younger guys who were doing it,
They're-
they haven't had the years in yet.
Right.
So like right now at this moment,
Right.
I might be the most. You may be with the person who's made the most pizzas, maybe in the world.
I believe it because that's what we pull on this podcast. Is
And I'm
world-
good looking.
The greatest.
The
I'm
best,
handsome.
the best looking one.
Handsome, funny.
Dude, our tagline should be, "This is going to be weird."
Your tagline should be like, the only thing greater than our awesomeness is our humbleness.
That's right.
Now, do you guys know who Dave
He's
Port-
writing that down.
I am.
do you know who Dave Portnoy is?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on him?
I think he can.
He
has
doesn't
has a lot of power on making or breaking.
Right.
I think
think
my
he's-
only problem with it, and I think that I've heard that if it's something like bad, he scraps it and won't put it on there
Right.
because
I think he realized it was damaging
right
a lot of people.
because you look at us like we give 21 years of our life, and then he walks in and some bozo that we thought we had trained is having a
Right.
bad day, gets a crappy pizza, and you get wrecked.
Yes.
You're done.
Yeah.
It
noticed
it
him-
doesn't seem fair. So, and I think that I have heard that he does, like if there's an issue, he
softened
doesn't
them
put it
up,
out.
or
Yeah.
yes, because they back in the day they were
Oh yeah.
Oh, they would
harsh.
rip places.
And places went out of business.
Yeah.
But he would also be fair and give them a good review if it was good, which would probably be
He
worth
could also
millions
make
and
you.
millions
Oh,
of
right.
dollars.
He's
Right.
also made people.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, it's a weird.
But he
it's
likes a
weird thing.
particular style too. Like there's
Right. I think. Yeah, people like different styles.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like you put bread, sauce, and cheese together.
right.
I'm in.
Right.
I'll eat a big old bite.
Right. I'll eat a
know?
loaf of bread with bread.
If I'm hungry,
sauce and cheese.
if I'm hungry coming out of Costco, I'm getting $1.99 slice. I mean, it's
And
just
they've
the way
got
it
pretty
is.
good pizza.
Yeah.
You
I
are? I was curious about that. If you're really bougie about your pizza
Nope.
now.
He
Nope.
will eat pizza anywhere.
I
Any
love
style.
whenever we travel, like wherever I
You
am.
have to.
I get as much as I can.
Yeah.
Just I like to see what other people do, and and I
Right.
like
Yeah.
pizza. I like my own the
Yeah.
best. But if someone doesn't like mine the best, that's fine.
How much
Like
of
what
your
you
own
like.
pizza? Are you eating a lot of your own pizza or no? Like,
I
what's
mean-
your regimen?
I
Because
probably-
I got a pizza Reggie too.
I mean, I probably eat at least a slice a day. It's quality control.
Right, you got to test.
Yeah,
it,
and
I
he,
guess.
he has to. I mean, it has to be done.
Yeah.
That's nice to back him up on that.
Yep.
What's
He
your
has to.
lifetime pizza slices?
Oh, you know what? I've been considering the amount of pizzas that I've made. I've never thought about how many I've eaten. I'm probably also number one in the world.
It's probably a good thing.
Let's just put another category as me
Just
ranked
check
number
it
one.
up. You got
How many
this is new
how
merch
many
for you
records
guys.
does Gretzky hold? Like 52?
lot.
I got two.
Now, what's the difference between a pie and a tray? And is that a big thing in the pizza world?
Like
What's a tray?
Like so-
Pennsylvania people know it. Do you
Yeah,
like
I don't
call
know
them
what
like
that means.
like cuts?
Yes,
a cut
and it's
instead
like
of a slice.
They'll make them in rectangles.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
This guy doesn't believe in a square cut.
Yeah, tell
Not if it's
A
a
round.
If it's like a Sicilian
Yep.
rectangle, then you cut it in squares.
Yeah, you got it.
If you, I need a good reason as to why you would cut a round pizza into squares. You're not going to give me one.
I can't think of one either.
Well, I think some people love
Randy was
crust
thinking.
He was trying.
because here's where I was thinking. My
Get rid
dad
of the
loves
crust.
crust, especially if it's burnt. But I would go without any crust at all. So I would take that
You
middle
want that middle
slice.
slice.
How do you?
I would order it, have them cut it like that.
I
would take the
corner.
middle slice and give the rest to my kids and my wife.
Or just eat the
I
slice
get all the good
and
stuff and
throw
throw in
in
the crust. Doesn't feel the same.
Well, too, if you think about it, right? If you think about it, crust is just pizza without the sauce and cheese. Like
Right.
you're getting gypped. People are like,
Right.
the crust is the best. Is
Right.
it?
Right.
Well, although stuffed crust, kind of into that.
We do a brushed crust, like a
what's
garlic butter
Yeah,
brushed
that is
crust. That's
nice.
delicious.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question about crust while
Sure.
we're on it. I don't understand how that part rises. and the rest doesn't equally?
Well,
Like, what does that? What's
Science.
Is it science? Is this the centrifugal force that we're talking about?
well, so two things with the yeast and the whole reaction
Yep.
of that and the creation of the gases.
Yeah.
So it's going to rise, but then where you have the sauce and the cheese,
Keeps
you
it-
have weight
Weight.
on it, and you also have moisture on it that you don't on the crust.
What-
You'll notice if you see a pizza where like part of it is like it
Kinda
went over
bubbles
the
a little,
edge,
yeah.
and you can look at it next time, you'll see it, and that
dipped.
isn't risen
Well,
either.
So what stops it from getting massive? Like or makes the crust bigger? Like I've seen some where it's, salami size thick.
Yeah, well, it's really what state your dough is in. Our dough is the way we make it. We activate the yeast, and then you're dealing with the sugars and the feeding. So creating the gases, we need
Yeah.
like optimally like 6 hours. Now, if you use more sugar, which is food for the yeast, it's gonna get bigger. If the temperature is higher, if the dough is 30 hours old as opposed to 7 hours old, it's more time with the gases
Gotcha.
rising and all that. Typically, you're gonna stay. It's not gonna be massive because you're gonna take it out of the oven.
Yeah.
And then with the way, like what we use deck ovens, which every New York style pizza is going to do, when it starts rising too much, then it's going to burn. It's just, there's not a
Oh, I
whole lot of
gotcha.
space in there.
That's
so,
where it goes through the thing. What's
No.
that called?
That's a
No
conveyor.
thing.
Conveyor.
Yeah.
You're
That's-
not doing conveyor.
Deck is you're just
cheating.
putting it in on the stone. It cooks right on the stone.
Open it up.
Oh.
boom,
Bang. Boom. Bang.
Boom, bang.
boom,
Is,
bang.
is there something how long your stick should be that puts it in and out of the oven?
Depends
Long
on how
enough to
tall
not-
you are.
If-
I
long
need a
enough to not
longer
get
stick.
burnt.
Depends how tall and it depends how tough you are.
Oh.
Right. So you're soft
You
if
go
you have a
shorter.
long stick.
I'll tell you a story here.
No.
This is gonna be weird.
Oh Lord, there a couple years ago. I was in the kitchen, a couple newer guys, younger guys, and they were doing pretty well making the pizzas, and then it was getting a little bit busier, and they were kind of stopped. I was like, what are you guys stopping for? Like, oh, there's no room in the oven. And I open it up, and there's only pizzas in the front. And I'm like, the back of it, with the back of it. and the one's like, oh, that's too hot. It's too hot on my arms. And I looked at him, and I looked at my manager at the time, Holly, and she looked at me and she was like, Brian's about to murder little kids. And then I looked back and I was like, wait, you're serious? They're like, yeah, it's too hot to put your arm back there. And I was like, you applied and interviewed and were hired to make, did you not realize what? They didn't
last
I don't think they work for us
you can't,
anymore.
you can't not use half your oven space. When we busy nights, those things are full for hours,
Right.
Hours. And if you can't have them half full,
What's the cook time? Do you guys use timers, or is this all in the head game?
it's in the head, and it changes too. I mean, the commercial ovens, they're designed to retain heat. That's why you have stones and the way they're designed.
Right.
They're
Airflow.
designed to recover quicker. But, if you're talking the end of lunch when you really haven't had a lot going on for about 45 minutes, the ovens aren't opening constantly.
Yeah.
Probably cooking one in like 7-8 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Now 9:30 on a Friday night, it's probably going to take closer to 12. Just because they're constantly just open
Heat's
to get them out,
escaping
put
every
them
time
in,
you open
get
the
them out,
oven.
put them in. It's taking the heat out of the stone from the bottom, so it depends on a couple different things.
Is there anything to rotating the pie while it's in there? Got to do that
There's
too.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, not as much as like a coal fired or a wood fired where you have extreme heat and you have that's an art. People running those ovens, it's impressive. We're pretty consistent on the ovens we use, but there are hot spots, and you kind of gotta figure it out. If the one over here, every time you pull a piece out from over there, it's like two done on this side, then it's a little hot over there, and you got to spin that baby.
Right.
Yeah,
couple minutes in.
the person on Expo is every time they open that oven is looking at everything in it before they're pulling what they want. Because if they need to spin something that might be cooking a little uneven on one side, they're spinning them and just keeping them rotated.
My wife's going to be happy to hear that you don't use timers because Tom calls her a psychopath
Oh, I'm a
every
big
time he
timer
sees
guy.
her not using a timer.
Big timer guy. But I mean, I get it in the restaurant world because you're constantly there.
But for like making our dough,
Yeah.
we use a timer because it's very specific.
Yes.
On the
There
amount.
we go.
So we use a timer when we start, then there's an autolyzing process to let
Mhm.
the water and the flour to start bonding. We have a timer on that because there's a window there too. And then when you mix it, there's got to be a timer because once it's formed in the dough and it's banging around that bowl,
Smart.
it is continuing to warm and warm and warm
Yep.
and warm, and it's the getting the dough at a temperature when it's done is the goal.
Yeah.
And the more friction you create, the temperature's going up, and now it's going to react different.
Yep.
I had a friend in high school. He played hockey with me. He was a goalie, very average goalie. But his name was Ryan. His
he
name was
listens to
Ryan
this,
Curtis.
doesn't he?
He might listen to this. But he started his job. I remember the day at Domino's Pizza. He was delivering pizza,
Mhm.
and he came to school one day and he was like, "I want to own my own pizza place. That's my new life goal." And I was sitting there thinking, like, we're all ready to be like engineers, and it was never really crossed my mind that
I still
that
wanna
would
be a
his
fireman.
life goal. But he just was obsessed with it,
Mhm.
and he did end up opening his own place.
Nice.
And he did that for about 10 years, and now he just opened a new one with some of my friends in Red Deer, Alberta, too. And he's just now known for his pizza because he loved it when he was 14 or 15 years old. And I'm looking back at it now and thinking
Very cool.
that was probably you back in the day. Just hey, newspaper straight to pizza.
Yeah, yeah, and it just
And I think he did deliver a lot of newspapers too. I remember that.
newspaper was a great job.
It's a good transition point.
Yeah, but yeah, just something that kind of clicks with you. And I think in the restaurant business, it has to click with you, and if it does, it's hard to get it out of your system. And it's kind of like golf. You know, everything can be going wrong. You're burning stuff. People are
Yes.
getting mad at you.
Mhm.
Randy knows
The-
all
you know,
about that.
Every round.
There's the soda machine blows. The same thing. You're
Yep.
shanking the ball into the woods. The same thing. You hit. I mean, you could be on the 18th hole and your approach is just pure, and you're like,
Yep.
"Oh, I'm back, baby."
Yeah, let's
Wow.
play
Yep.
36
And it's
today.
same thing. Everything could be going wrong at the restaurant, and then it could be a kid, it could be old, and it just nothing. Be like, "Hey, that's a damn good pizza. Or like, that's the best pizza I've had." I'm like, back, baby.
Yeah.
Back. You know, like
Love a good
30
golf
seconds
analogy.
ago, if someone offered me $20, I'd have sold the whole place to them. But like now, this is what I do.
This is it.
Dude, you need that to be top 5 worldwide most pizzas made.
Yeah,
Just
definitely.
something inside of you just
Yeah.
loves that.
Yeah.
That's a hidden drive.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was you said in the country, but I'm changing it to worldwide now.
At least North America, right?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
probably someone in Italy
Continent.
that's done more, or no? Some 80-year-old.
No, I factored that in.
Yeah,
Um,
fair enough.
I factored that in because they're not as volume over
Yeah.
there.
Yep. Lower
Good
volume.
point.
You know, and that's the other
Reps.
thing too, is like we do a good job, but we do a lot of volume too with a college. As long as college kids keep liking pizza,
Right.
we're good.
What is the big pizza night? Is it Friday? Is that or is it change?
Every night is a good pizza.
Really?
Yeah.
No, we do. Wednesdays are buy one,
That's
get
the
one.
big one.
And that's very popular. Saturday night, actually,
Saturday. Are you guys 7 days a week?
6. We're closed
6.
on Mondays.
Close Mondays.
Hmm
A lot of Columbia restaurants close Mondays.
We started it. Just kidding.
When was it? It was after we opened. It was after 2015.
It's 2015 when we opened our 3rd location. We
was-
needed that.
It was when Wilbur left.
Yeah, we needed
Yeah.
that day not to have off,
Right.
but to kind of regroup. Each location needed
Clean
something
up,
different
do
from us
something,
that
yeah.
needed to be addressed, and it just made sense.
How late are you guys open? Serving pies.
Different. The
Different.
5 Points location, the flagship is midnight to 2
Really?
a.m. I mean, it's
Yeah.
the nightlife district.
I loved a good pie after the bar.
Yeah.
Oh,
You get it before.
go down like
pregame
water.
it, and then
It's
that's
like
it before you go home.
Yeah.
Soak it up.
it was
And
like
then-
hydration.
Mhm.
Yeah, our Olympia location closes at 10 though, so
10 o'clock. Yep.
good normal closing time.
I'm
Nice.
curious about your guys' relationship advice.
Ooh.
It's not saying that it would be hard to work together in the service industry for all those years with twin children.
Don't marry your business partner.
Yeah.
What would be your number one relationship tip to work with each other?
I am thankful
these
that she
years.
hasn't murdered me. And it would have been just probably a lot of times.
Yeah.
In your
What-
sleep? What'd you do in your
what-
sleep? Just a
Pillow. I picture pillow over
That's
the
what
face.
or a punch to the neck.
If she's taking me out, it's going to be violent.
It will be.
It's going to be violent.
It's a pizza.
She's getting some aggression out with it too. And I'll probably be
He's
like,
not. He's not wrong. No, but a serious one though, and I do not practice this, but I do think.
But
that
it is good advice.
great advice. You gotta have some separation.
Yes.
I mean, we eat, sleep, and breathe the Village Idiot since pretty much the time we were married, and it's you gotta
Yeah, you got to
We-
separate.
you
It's
gotta
hard-
separate.
it's hard
and
to
we,
do it, but-
we have a hard time doing that.
we try to keep our home blessings and fights
Yeah.
at home
Right.
and our work ones at work. And it's hard to do, especially now kids too. It's like sometimes you only get a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And we
Right.
have to talk about some business stuff, but we're at home.
I wake up
So-
in the morning and it's go time. I've got 10,000
Yes.
things. I do a lot of the logistics and
Are you a list person? Like write down a list?
I mean it's constantly
Yeah,
running,
yeah.
constantly running, and he needs time. But so I'm up and I'm rapid fire.
Yeah.
This needs to be done today. This that, and he's like
Yeah.
not having it. So
He's stretching, doing yoga, getting his.
that's
getting his
exactly what
warm-ups
he's
in.
doing.
Clearly.
Yes, exactly what he's
Clearly.
doing.
I tell people too, Kelly doesn't like me saying it, but it's our partnership is we're very good with each other. We're yin and yang, and a lot of my weaknesses are her strengths, and vice versa. But if
You have weaknesses?
if I was to go, like, let's just say that I don't know, I moved to
Hawaii.
great, or Red Deer.
You
Play
Red
some
Deer,
hockey.
Alberta.
There
Yeah.
are some weak goalies up there. But like she would have to find someone who knows about pizza.
Yeah.
That's what she would have to find. If she went to Red Deer to score on your buddy at will, I business manager, accountant,
Right.
I mean,
Lot of hats.
scheduler, everything. It's amazing. What she does is amazing.
Yeah.
So you got to have the right business partner.
So what's so I'm getting back to your relationship advice. Kelly is you need some separation, but she doesn't do that. And yours is what?
Do what Kelly says.
Okay, listen to Kelly.
Yeah, listen to
to her.
Kelly. It is hard working, but it's also the good thing about it is you also have more challenges to overcome, and as you do overcome them, you know that like we can get through anything.
Right. Right.
Big things, small things. So it's like proven over and over, like we can handle it. May not look like it now. You may want to stab me in the eye.
Yep.
We're gonna get through it. We're gonna figure it out, and we're gonna come out the other side. And the more when you're in business,
And I'm
also,
a planner.
Yeah.
I like to just go, baby, whatever.
Yep.
Adjust the sails to the wind.
That's what I
Yes.
picture is like Kelly walking into the restaurant, holding a bunch of stuff, and you come out and like, oh, let me help you with that. She's like, oh, now you want to help me? You couldn't change the laundry over from the washer to the dryer this morning, but now you're going to be all helpful.
I think that actually happened yesterday. But
That happens to me daily.
So there's a long and a lot of she's in there early in the morning and getting stuff, and a lot of times she's in meetings and this and that. So a lot of the employees don't see it, and a lot of the customers. Now I don't know if you picked up. I like to have a good time. I like to talk to people, this and that. So a lot of people just knew me that would come in, and then when Kelly would go, and they'd be like, "Oh, are you the owner's wife?"
Oh.
And I'd be like, "Oh my god, like,
Triggering.
I did not do anything here, and I'm gonna die." But it's kind of funny. But I'm gonna die. Like if only they knew. But there's a lot of people. There's times too where it's amazing. It still happens, but just a bit like a blind meeting for something, and if there's an older guy there, he's just like looking at me, and I'll be laughing like, dude, I don't make these decisions. Like this isn't my wheelhouse.
Right.
Like but it's weird. But I'm lucky to have her. She puts up with me.
Ditto.
Now, what else do you guys get into for fun? Like outside of pizza, what is it? What's the move?
nothing together. We have enough.
This is where you separate.
This is
Yep.
this is ours. So, long story short, about 2 years ago, we decided we were going to play tennis
We're
together.
gonna play tennis together.
Never
Nice.
played before ever.
Okay.
He
I had been for
was
like
gonna
10
pick up
years.
the
I was like, we
racket.
should play tennis. We should play tennis.
Yeah.
Let's play tennis.
So I said, I'll get us a couples lesson.
We took a couples lesson.
How many did you show up to? On time.
Like 2.
Yeah. I still am I'm an avid. I came off the tennis court today.
Nice.
Yeah,
and
Kelly's on 4 different teams.
I'm still waiting on Brian to get back on the court with me.
Well, I had
Yeah,
the
he
shoulder
had-
thing. I had
Yeah.
the shoulder thing.
Yeah.
I got another one. It's, and then there was a
No.
guy.
You gotta
and
stay healthy.
He told me to take a left. I should have taken a right.
We have twin 6-year-olds at home, so I think
Right.
that's what we do outside of work
Yeah.
at this juncture.
we were sitting in and that's the thing, but like owning business, and you guys know this. I mean,
yeah.
and you go through stretches where it's just, this is what it is. And there's no when it's yours, there's no safety net behind you. And you have to do what you have to do. And that can go on sometimes for years and you don't realize it. We were at a new doctor, I was filling out the paperwork and she's in the waiting room with me, like reading the magazine. And it said, list hobbies. And I'm like, list hobbies.
What's
I was like, Kelly, it says list hobbies. And she went like this. She went, put yard work.
Just put something.
Put yard work. I mean, I mow the lawn every quarter.
That's awesome.
Fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
And then what's the vision? Like, are you guys full blown, keep expanding? What's this look like over the next 5-10 years?
Didn't we spend several days on our vision statement?
That he doesn't want our vision statement. He wants our
Good, because I don't know what it is.
our long-term goal assessment. I would love to see another Village Idiot
Yeah.
that is not operated by us, but is supported by us, and the brand to continue.
Love that.
It could be 50 of them, could be one of them. Hopefully, it's not just one.
Yeah. Outside of Columbia, like you guys want to see this maybe if you get it to the franchise point, somebody can purchase the franchise, set up in Charleston
And
or
it's
wherever.
it's ready.
It's
I mean,
ready. Oh, nice.
it's ready
Nice.
for anyone that is interested. But we would like to grow Nucleus out.
Yep.
So Lexington,
Sure.
Irmo Chapin, Northeast, where we can really put our arms around it and support.
Northeast would be great.
Yeah.
We need something out here.
We would like to go Nucleus out, and the first couple, obviously, in anything you do, we want to be close. We want to be there. We want whoever is going to believe in us enough to invest their not only money but their time, their mental energy,
Right.
everything. Like we want to be able to be there for them in every possible way at the beginning, until because there's going to be still things that we're going to need to figure out, and the closer you are, I think the better we can do.
Yeah.
So the right place with the right people who kind of think the same way and want to join the team, and that's the hope that we can start. But I mean, if Red Deer might be far,
Red Deer
Yeah,
might be a little
might be
far.
and your
tough.
Canadian
Yeah.
dollar is crap right now. So
I wouldn't go to Red Deer.
Yeah. The whole country's going to shit.
I would go to Canada, period.
you guys, I mean, only sovereign until we run out of our own natural resources, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest.
I mean,
Yeah.
Probably.
He realized that he got his American citizenship.
Dual, that's the way to go.
Yep.
I got cousins with Dual also.
That
in
way,
Vancouver.
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
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 I'm thinking about getting my Polish citizenship too, because my grandfather is Polish.
Is
He
the
passed away, but I think I can still get it.
Oh, you saw, yeah, that 100%. The is the Canadian passport blue too?
Yeah, but it's a little more. You know how everything's
Yeah,
a little more
little more-
colorful.
Little more
There's-
feminine.
There's some places where you don't want the American passport,
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Yep.
we got a passport.
Just one.
We didn't
Just
ask
one.
this, but where's the name come from? We're Village Idiot. Like, what is the what's behind that? Was it that when you guys purchased it?
It was. It's
And they
it's
have to
been-
have some sort of story, right?
It was Village Idiot Pizza and Pub
Okay.
from the original owners. They, 3 guys from New Jersey followed a girl down to Columbia, South Carolina.
Really?
Yeah.
3 dudes?
Well, not one
Oh,
guy.
one guy.
followed
One
girl.
dude.
Two of them.
I see.
Two of them
Followed their
along.
own.
Okay, all right.
And the 5 Points district back then, especially, was called the Village neighborhood.
Oh.
So very eclectic, and they were not very boistrous. Very
They were
so
idiots.
they were idiots. So they coined themselves the Village Idiots.
They
That's
like
good.
shouldn't it was the worst possible. I mean, the biggest risk. We did a 30th. Was it a 30th?
We have had 30. The Village Idiot has had for 30 years. Yes.
But with the
30,
anyways, we
34
had
now.
this
Some sort of
celebration thing.
anniversary.
So one of the
Like your
original
wedding
3
anniversary.
Yeah,
Which is Sunday, by the way.
it is.
He'll be at the Heritage.
No, I'm coming back from the Heritage, but I'll
right.
be at the baseball game that she's making me go to.
Nice.
Anywho, so the one guy, Dominic, was there. All 3 of them are still in town, and the one guy, Dominic, he comes in. He's sitting down. He's like, 30 years. He's like, bro, I didn't think we were gonna make it 30 days. Like, they opened up with 1 case of Budweiser. They had 1 Parmesan shaker, and someone would shake it, and like they'd go over and grab it from them and like, bring it to somebody else. And it was like they moved. I think they were like 20.
Yeah.
They moved.
Did any of one of them end up with the girl?
Yes.
Yes.
Really?
That was Dominic, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
He also has one of the largest roofing companies in the Southeast, Aquaseal.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Aquaseal
Sweet.
Roofing is
hmm
the original owner of the Village Idiot.
No way.
Yeah. Awesome guys.
Turns
Yeah.
out he's smarter than he looks, I guess, right?
They just like kind of.
He is smarter than he looks, that's for sure.
Dominic, if you listen to this, I don't agree with that. I think you're a handsome fella.
And then I had 2 last things. What would you say you guys are most like? What's the most famous food, or what's the draw? I mean, of course, pizza, but is there one pizza in particular, or what's bringing the Canadians from Red Deer here?
Free loonies and toonies with every order of garlic nuts. they're only
You
worth
know
like
a lot
15
about
cents.
Canada
but
from Robert from Canada.
That's in New York.
It does change, but our staple is the Village Special. It's like a Supreme. Our most popular right now,
for people the ages like this one over here.
of the children, buffalo chicken.
Really, I heard buffalo chicken.
Oh.
Yes.
And
Do you
Brian,
go blue cheese or ranch?
either one you can choose.
Oh, you can choose.
You can
Nice.
choose. Brian's a purist, so anytime we've had a menu revamp, and I'm like, ooh, we should add X.
Yeah.
He's like,
Where's the red sauce?
no.
Where's the mozzarella?
Took me a while.
Do you say
pepperoni,
mozzarella?
sausage,
No.
cheese, onions, and green peppers. That's all you need to have on a menu for a pizza restaurant, in his mind.
So, but let me sidebar real quick. The guy I grew up, Ziggy, you could get cheese, pepperoni, mushroom, sausage, green pepper, and onion. Not pepperoni and mushroom.
Oh, you couldn't. do
Not
them all?
nope.
All
Can't,
separate.
no light bake, no well done, no.
Right.
He was the soup Nazi before the soup Nazi, but more polite about it. But people would, and he'd be like, "Listen, this is my pizza. These are the pizzas I make. I'd love for you to try one, but if you don't want one of these, could you kindly step aside because the person behind you does." So that's how I grew up. It was just like,
It's been very
you
hard
make
to
it, you
break
make it
him.
great, and then
Right.
just tell people, take it, don't take it. I don't care. But if you're not going to take it, go because they want to take it.
Right.
So I doubled down on that a little bit. And every month I make him concept a feature of the month that has a topping that we don't even have on our regular menu that is only available for that month.
Wow.
So he has to.
Have you done pineapple? Because
she
that's
is-
a big
Yes,
thing in the
pineapple was on my
pineapple's
list.
on our
That's a
regular
big-
menu. I mean,
Oh,
that's,
it is?
Oh yeah, that's very.
Are we
Ham and
recording?
pineapple.
We're recording.
Are we, because she is admitting to murdering me, not with a weapon, but like my soul.
He needed to get out of his comfort zone.
Now, the older I've gotten, it was just everything bothered me. But once you start saying, I'm like, who am I to say,
What
if
a
you
pe-
want pineapple on your pizza,
Throw
who
it on
am I
there.
to say no? Like, if you
Right.
want buffalo sauce,
This is a
on
very
your pizza,
polarizing
like, what?
topic, though, because
you gonna
people
do?
have big opinions
100%.
on pineapple on their pizza.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Also, the older I got, the more it's like, well, I mean, it is a pretty good high profit margin topping. So yeah, pineapples for everybody. I mean, let's go.
Right.
I
Yeah.
never went to a single birthday party that didn't have ham and pineapple pizza at it.
The Hawaiian
My whole
pizza.
life.
The
Hawaiian
classic.
pizza every
We
single
have the
birthday
fat
party.
Hawaiian,
Crazy.
which is ham, bacon, and pineapple.
Ooh, nice.
And then we have a kamikaze too that's got jalapeno on it.
Nice.
So Canada is it
They
is it
Canada.
ham
It's
or
back
is
to
it?
Canada.
There would be you'd have
Bacon?
cheese and pepperoni, and you would have ham and pineapple. Those would be the two, and you'd order 6 of each.
So one time, me and my cousins were in Canada, and we ordered chicken wings, and they didn't bring us napkins. They brought us little bowls of water to dip our fingers in. You know anything about that?
I haven't seen that. No,
Well, there was a,
but I'm embarrassed about that.
there was an incident with us. We were almost deported from,
But wet naps would be normal. Like
Wet-
it would be very normal to get a wet nap.
perfectly acceptable. And I think they gave us like instead of celery, like strawberries. It was a mess. Like 3 guys from New York, you just don't want to do it.
What? So, is there any topping that you are saying right now over my dead body will that end up on a pizza of mine?
Yes, but I don't know what it is.
gold.
Oh,
Flakes of
we could do
gold.
gold flakes. I
You would do
I
that?
like it.
What about anchovies?
Yeah, we have.
We
them.
have them. Sell them.
And there's people.
Another
that,
very
Here's the thing about anchovies. There's no middle ground. You like them or you don't.
Right.
You need to have them on your pizza or don't get them anywhere near it.
Right.
we have had a lentil
Yep.
pizza,
Have you seen these chicken
Brussels
pizzas?
sprouts.
Kraut.
Oh, I do a lot of chicken pizzas.
No, I'm talking. They're blending a chicken breast and then making that the dough.
Oh,
That's
for
the new
God,
thing.
That's like a hamburger.
That's the 22-year-olds right now.
Sierra.
Sierra,
It's a chicken Caesar.
she knows.
salad.
Yes.
It's like a chicken Caesar salad, but instead of the filet being on top, it's
Yes.
Oh, a
there's
chicken
no
Caesar
dough.
salad.
Can we
There's no
open?
dough.
Can we open that door and kick her out while we're recording?
But no one else could hear that. But
There's
she said
no
it's a chicken
tossing.
Caesar salad where the chicken is on the bottom as the crust.
Yes.
And then you put salad
It's
on the top.
dough. Yes.
Can we cut this part?
So
don't even think
this
there's
is
sauce.
the war on gluten pizza. Then.
Yes.
You know, that's for the
Yeah, they're cutting the dough
It's
right
probably
out.
this new carnivore trend.
Yeah.
We go high gluten. We do have
Yeah, I
we do
love-
have a
I just love that they're pushing all their
It's
chips
good
in.
branding. Yeah.
Forget the gluten-free people.
We do
Yeah.
have a gluten-free.
Oh, you do
pizza.
have an option.
But
Okay.
we again
But for
hand
those,
hand toss. So if you've got a serious gluten allergy,
Right.
not a sensitivity, it's airborne in our restaurants. So I never. If someone is coming in and is really serious about the gluten questions,
yeah.
immediately this is
that was what we waited. It was a long time before. They've gotten really good in what they're making with a lot of the gluten-free pastas and pizza doughs. One of my cousin's youngest daughter has celiac disease, and it took them. And they can't
Right.
cross-contaminate, and they've gotten to the point where they can't even eat out anymore because
Right.
it's just not worth
It's
it. It
everywhere,
causes
yeah.
so much pain for her. So I was always concerned if we got a gluten-free crust that someone on wait staff, someone wouldn't know and say, yeah, it's gluten-free. We
And
use
then all
high
of a
gluten
sudden-
flour. It's everywhere.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The oven,
You're-
we don't have a designated spot. So I just never wanted to, but it's good. Most people, if they do have that, they know to ask the questions and kind of get the cues.
Right.
Yep.
You guys are doing gluten lines in the back, basically,
Pretty
with
much.
the amount of dust you're breathing
That's
in.
what I'm talking
Yeah.
about, baby.
You just cutting lines and all right, boys.
What's that white powder all over your nose? Oh, that's high gluten flour.
You should see
Get
the
it-
high gluten flour at the
get it
pizza
in
show in Vegas, baby. It's nuts.
And then for home pizza people,
Mhm.
what's the gear out there that you think, like, if you're putting together a little shop at your house, what should we have? Like a little fire.
If you're gonna have one thing and one thing only,
or just if you have a couple things that come to mind where you're like, this is a good, my sister has this pizza stone. Maybe
that's it. That's the one.
That's the one.
That's the one.
So she's right.
Your sister is correct.
Okay.
Um,
I don't have one.
And that, yes, if you're gonna get one thing, that's what you want.
Do you preheat the
yes,
stone?
you will put the stone in there and get the stone if you're gonna cook it at your like say 450.
Yeah.
You want that in there to get the 450. Now, when you put it in there, you are cooking from the top and the bottom. It also reheating pizzas. If you have the time to get it there,
Oh,
reheating,
yeah.
it's going to come out just like you're in the shop and they just threw it back in the
Love
oven.
that.
Bread, awesome on a stone.
Oh, like making bread?
Baking bread or like reheating it.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Buy a loaf of Italian somewhere and stick it on there, heat it up, and cut that baby up.
You do have to make sure you've got the stone floured,
seasoned.
Oh, right.
seasoned well enough, or it will stick.
Yep, you gotta get some use into it.
What are there any other things out there like
You know the
cutters or
wheeled cutter is probably the best. They
How
have
about-
all kinds of different things. The stick that you were talking about, it's called a pizza peel.
Pizza peel.
Pizza peel.
you want stainless
Yes.
steel in that, right?
Well, stainless steel is for like taking them out, but if you're gonna make it on it, you want a wooden one.
Oh, so you make it on the wood, you
Mhm.
slide it in.
Slide
Slide
it
it
in.
in on
Put
the
the
wood.
wooden one back in the golf bag. Get your stainless
Correct.
steel out to work it.
Correct. You put the wood one back in the golf bag. You go get some high
Yeah.
gluten lines,
Get a line.
and then you grab the metal one and you spin it, and then
Maybe a cocktail from the bar.
if you have to walk by the bar,
You need a little air on the wooden one between the pizza and the peel, so it slides off too.
Okay.
So tell everyone how they should reach out to you if they want to get a hold of you, if they want to open a franchise, if they want to work for you or with you, or if they just want to come in for pizza.
if they want to get a hold of us, they definitely want to get a hold of Kelly and not me, because I'll probably forget.
But we
You don't
do
want to
need
give
to,
out your phone number?
well, we do need to reference your Instagram account because it was hilarious to me. His personal
Oh, you love my
Instagram.
Instagram, not my
Yes.
Twitter?
It's his Twitter.
My
no?
Oh, I
Twitter?
didn't even see your. I didn't. I mean, I don't
Oh,
have
Lord.
Twitter. But he's with Shane Beamer, and none of the photos are in focus until the last one. I was like waiting for it to load, and I was like, no, this is what he posted.
In full disclosure, Gamecock Athletics took those pictures.
Really?
Yes, they were terrible, weren't they?
It's dude. We're posting your Instagram.
There's a lot of
page.
pictures of me that are blurry over the years. That I thought I don't want.
So if you want to find out what's happening at the Village Idiot, you would go to villageidiotpizza.com. Our Instagram is @idiotpizza, Facebook or Meta, Village Idiot Pizza.
Yep.
I think we're on Twitter.
Twitter,
X.
Snapchat,
We are not
TikTok.
on Snapchat.
Ryan could be doing some
We have
TikTok.
a-
She
We
needs
have
to
a
know.
TikTok account, but
We do.
Yeah.
we do. We're busy selling pizza.
Listen, I can produce gold content, except for I
Yes.
can't produce it.
Yeah. You just need. Yeah, you need
You
Sierra.
guys need a
just
third
film-
host?
We need you. We need Sierra filming you all day.
At all times.
We'll get some dough in here.
Can you guys give me an honorary doctorate?
Yeah.
My mom would be impressed.
Yeah.
Just
I'll,
like
make,
right
I'll
up-
make up a
right-
nice
yeah,
little
right up.
certificate right
Yeah,
here.
there you go. Awesome.
And you guys come out and make some pizza one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And if you want to, if interested in franchising, get a hold of us too, and go through those channels. And
Yeah.
we're looking for people who may want to change in their life and think like us and want to be a good part of a community and have some fun while doing it.
Love it.
Awesome.
Do you guys have a big whiteboard in the back office? Like a
I have many whiteboards.
A lot of whiteboards
Gonna need it. Yep. And a pot of coffee
and high gluten flour.
and high gluten flour lines.
It's really fun when the cops come in. You put them in like a little Porsche bag and just drop it out of your pocket. And go off guard.
What's that?
They all know me now.
This
Like when the
does
rookie
not
cops
happen.
come in.
This does not happen.
All right. We appreciate it. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for having us.
We're here for the health of it.
For the health of it.